Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Diriye Nashti Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, text number 19 onwards. Maitre Vacha Prachetasaha Piturvakyam Shirsadaya Sadvaha Disham Pratichim Prayayus Tapasya Dhrit Chetasaha. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prachin Barhi were very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul. And with these words on their heads, they went toward the west to execute their father's order. In this verse, sadhva means loving, meaning pious or well-behaved is very important, especially at the present moment. It is derived from the word sadhu. A perfect sadhu is one who is always engaged in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prachin Barhi's sons are described as sadhva because of their complete obedience to their father. The father, king, spiritual master are supposed to be representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, they have to be respected as a Supreme Lord. It is the duty of the father, the spiritual master, and the king to regulate their subordinates in such a way that they ultimately become fully unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord. That is the duty of the superiors, and it's the duty of the subordinates to obey their orders perfectly and in a disciplined way. The word Shirasa on their heads is also significant, for the Prachetas accepted the orders of their father and carried them on their heads, which means that they accepted them in complete surrender. So their father, Prachin Barhi, King Prachin Barhi, had ordered them to go and do tapasya, get purified before they get married and carry on with the increasing the population. So they were very obedient sons, all the 10 sons of Prachin Barhi, that's Prachetas. And Prabhupada is explaining the father, the king, the spiritual master are supposed to be the representatives and their followers. And if everything is ideal, then there will not be any problems. Father or the king, spiritual master, and they're leading the nice, ideal life, ordering their followers, and the followers are following properly. That is fine. This is Satyuga. And even in Satyuga, we read about King Vena, who did not listen to anybody. But these are obedient, very surrendered souls. And that is when they met the spiritual master, Lord Shiva. So this humility, this mood of surrender, obedience, wonderful qualities, if these we have, then definitely we'll meet a spiritual master who can guide us on the right path. The mood has to be perfect for us to have the bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, if we are just trying to show off our wealth or other qualities, maybe the high position, high knowledge or good learning, too many degrees, lots of money, or beautiful body, or strong body, or good relatives, then we'll not meet a bona fide spiritual master. Or maybe even we meet the spiritual master, but we won't take his instructions seriously. So everything has to be proper when we have to surrender and when we have to take the instructions properly further. Because we will read how Lord Shiva prays and these sons of Prachin Barhi, they take the instructions very seriously. Sa samudram upavistiranam apashyan sumahatsaraha vahanman eva swacham prasansalilashayam. While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water, which seemed almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul. And its inhabitants, the aquatics, appeared very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir. The word Sa Samudra means near the sea. The reservoir water was like a bay, for it was not very far from the sea. The word Upa means more or less is used in many ways, as in the word Upapati, which indicates a husband, more or less. That is to say, a lover who's acting like a husband. Upa also means greater, smaller, or nearer. Considering all these points, the reservoir of water, which was seen by the Prachetas while they were traveling, was actually a large bay or lake. And unlike the sea or ocean, which has turbulent waves, this reservoir was very calm and quiet. Indeed, the water was so clear that it seemed like the mind of some great soul. There may be many great souls, jnanis, yogis, and bhaktas, so pure devotees are also called great souls, but they're very rarely found. One can find many great souls among yogis and jnanis, but a truly great soul, a pure devotee of the Lord, who's fully surrendered to the Lord, is very rarely found. So Mahatma Sudurlabha. A devotee's mind is always calm, quiet, and desireless because he's always anyabhilashita, shunyam, having no desire other than to serve Krishna as his personal servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover. Due to his association with Krishna, a devotee is always very calm and cool. It's also significant that within that reservoir, all the aquatics were also very calm and quiet. Being the disciples of a devotee have taken shelter of a great soul, they become very calm and quiet and are not agitated by the waves of the material world. So the lake and the inhabitants of that lake, aquatics and the fishes, and whoever was there, they were also very calm. The lake was calm, no waves. So it was not the ocean. It was just like an ocean, maybe a big lake or a big bay, and that's a proper explain comparing that to the mind of a great devotee. So mind of a great devotee or a great devotee is always very calm, quiet, and desireless. It's always anyabhilashita shunyam, means no material desires. So he's very calm and quiet, and so was the lake. And it is said even the aquatics were also very calm. So means the disciples of a devotee have taken shelter of a great soul. They are also very calm and quiet. They become very calm and quiet. Means if we follow a great soul properly, his instructions, then the followers also develop those qualities. This material world is often described as an ocean of nescience. In such an ocean, everything is agitated. The mind of a great devotee is also like an ocean or a very large lake, but there is no agitation. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir, those who are fixed in the service of the Lord are not agitated by anything. It's also stated in Bhagavad Gita, Yasmin Sito, even if he suffers some reversals in life, a devotee is never agitated. Therefore, whoever takes shelter of a great soul or a great devotee becomes pacified. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Atev Shanta. A devotee of Lord Krishna is always peaceful because he has no desire. Whereas the yogis, karmis, jnanis have so many desires to fulfill. One may argue that the devotees have desires, for they wish to go home back to Godhead, but such a desire does not agitate the mind. Although he wishes to go back to Godhead, a devotee is satisfied in any condition of life. Consequently, the word Mahan, Mana, is used in this verse to indicate that the reservoir of water was as calm and quiet as the mind of a great devotee. So the devotees are calm and quiet and no turbulent waves in their mind going on. Of course, that doesn't mean that they don't work. They don't take up big projects to serve Krishna. That service is always there. And in that service, there could be sometimes the calmness is gone. But that is for the service of Krishna. Just like Arjun was serving Krishna by fighting that war. And when you are in a war, one has to be in mode of passion. So just like when Abhimanyu was killed, Arjun was agitated. But two things, he did not lose his sight on the war, and very soon he recovered from that terrible loss of Abhimanyu. But he also lost his balance of mind. So that's what many times people don't understand. They say, "Oh, you're a sadhu. You're supposed to be very calm. You should have conquered anger. If you haven't conquered anger, then what's the difference between you and me?" Well, Hanumanji also got angry in Lanka, but that was for the service of Ram. It wasn't for his own sake he got angry. And so angry that he burned the whole Lanka down. And Arjun got angry. Arjun was really angry at Duryodhana and party. And so many crores and crores of people got killed in that war. So it's not that devotees cannot get angry, but inside they don't have any material desire. Only desire is to serve Krishna. And when that desire is there, so he's really considered, that is calmness actually. But at the same time, one has to see what I'm really getting angry at, or how long, and does it affect my sadhana? If there are any reversals in life, if there are any, and there will be plenty of them, Krishna has to test us. Do I lose my sadhana? Does my sadhana get affected negatively? That's the most important part. So it's not like something negative, according to our estimation, something negative happens and we just give up our mala, kanti mala, jap mala, everything is gone, and I'm just gonna go and enjoy myself. That kind of thing. No. That is a real test. Real test is not when everything is nice and fine and then we are still trying to chant. No. Real test is when everything goes against us. Everything that we can possibly think and beyond that. And then what we do. So again, calm doesn't mean a devotee does not get agitated, but he doesn't get agitated for himself. That's the main thing. But at the same time, we all are struggling to be devotees. We all are practicing. So so in the process, we lose some battles. We win some battles, and we keep going on and on and on and on. नील रक्तोत्पलाम्भोज कलारेन्द्र इंदिवराकरम हंस सारस चक्रावकार कारंडवन निकुजितम. In that great lake, there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night and some in the day and some like the Indivar lotus flower in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores there were swans and cranes, chakravak, karando, and other beautiful water birds standing about. The word akaram, mine, is significant in this verse, for the reservoir water appeared like a mine from which different types of lotus flowers were produced. Some of the lotus flowers grew during the day, some at night, and some in the evening, and accordingly they had different names and different colors. All these flowers were present on that lake, and because the lake was so calm and quiet and filled with lotus flowers, superior birds like swans, chakravaks, and karandas stood on the shores and vibrated the different songs, making the entire scene attractive and beautiful. As there are different types of human beings, according to the association of the three different qualities of material nature, there are similarly different types of birds, bees, trees, etc. Everything is divided according to the three qualities of material nature. Birds like swans and cranes, who enjoy clear waters and lotus flowers, are different from crows who enjoy filthy places. Similarly, there are persons who are controlled by the modes of ignorance and passion, and those who are controlled by the modes of goodness. The creation is so varied that there are always varieties found in every society. Thus, on the bank of this lake, all the superior birds lived to enjoy that atmosphere created by that great reservoir filled with lotus flowers. So since that the whole scene, the whole area was very attractive and beautiful, so the beautiful birds were there. So Prabhupada said everything is divided according to the three qualities of material mode. So because that area was mostly in the mode of goodness, so the birds and the flowers and everything was pretty much in the mode of goodness. So perfect place for the meditation that the prachetas were going for. So it's not like one can do meditation in the middle of a busy road with plenty of traffic and honking and people running around. That's not the place for meditation. And certainly not the place of ignorance where too many illicit things are going on, bars and red light areas. Those places are not for meditation either. But yes, as for Sankirtan devotees, we go everywhere to chant the holy names. Sankirtan can be done anywhere, but not the japa. For japa, we need proper place. It's proper, clean, very calm, quiet place where we can chant and really concentrate on hearing the holy names of the Lord. For Sankirtan, we used to go to the market where there were so many clubs and restaurants and the bars, and people would be really going crazy on Saturday evening. But in that craziness, sometimes some people would also come along. They would dance for a while, even if they were joking, just mocking us up. That, oh, look at these guys wearing bed sheets, and they're chanting and dancing. But so they also would come sometimes. But this would create agyat sukriti for them because they appreciated the holy name. They appreciated the devotees. so so yes, sankirtan can be done everywhere because that's a yajna for this day and age. But for our japa, we have to find the very right place and the right time to do that. Matta Brahmra Sosvarya Hrishta Romalatang Kripam Padma Kosha Rajo Dikshu Vikshipat Pavanotsavam. There were various trees and creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad bumblebees humming all about. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to the sweet humming of the bumblebees, and the saffron which was contained in the lotus flowers were being thrown into the air. These all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as though a festival were taking place there. Trees and creepers are also different types of living beings. When bumblebees come upon trees and creepers to collect honey, certainly such plants become very happy. So it's not that the bumblebees are coming and the plants don't know what is happening. They are in ignorance, but still they're living entities. So they become happy when the bumblebees come. On such occasion, the wind also takes advantage of the situation by throwing pollen or saffron contained in the lotus flowers. All these combines with the sweet vibration created by the swans and the calm of the water. The Prachetas considered such a place to be like a continuous festival. From this description, it appears that the Prachetas reached Shivaloka, which is supposed to be situated near the Himalaya mountains. So if we remember, when Shivji was angry with Daksha and he left the sacrificial arena and he went back to Kailash, Brahmaji and other demigods, they approached him. And that's also a beautiful description of that place where Lord Shiva resides. And of course, this is a corollary to that description. So we can only imagine the beauty of the area where Lord Shiva resides. It's not what we see these days. Kailash Mansarovar, they are just hills covered with snow, and one Mansarovar lake is there, and that's about it. There are no flowery trees and no cranes, no lotus flowers. We think it is very cold, that's why nothing grows over there. But actually, we cannot see those things. That's our fault. We cannot see that because we are not pure enough. We are not qualified. Just like we read in the shloka that one who is in the material body cannot see Lord Shiva. So what to speak of his abode? So only when we are qualified, he can give darshan of his abode and himself also. Tatra Gandharvam Akarnya Divya Marga Manoharam Visismeyu Rajaputras Te Mritanga Panavadyan. The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear. In addition to the various flowers and living entities about the lake, there were also many musical vibrations. The void of the impersonalist, which has no variegatedness, is not at all pleasing compared with such a scene. Actually, one has to attain the perfection of Satchidananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Because the impersonalists deny these varieties of creation, they cannot actually enjoy transcendental bliss. The place where the Prachetas arrived was the abode of Lord Shiva. Impersonalists are generally worshippers of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva is never without variety in his abode. Thus, wherever one goes, whether to the planet of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, there is variety to be enjoyed by persons full in knowledge and bliss. So much of variety and so much of beauty is there. Now, the musical vibrations they were also listening to. So we can just imagine that scene. What scene must be there? Tarye sarasat tasman nishkramantam sahanukam upagiyamanam amara pravaram vibudanugahe tapta hema nikayabham shitikantham trilochanam prasad sumukham viksha pranem urjat kotukaha. The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes, which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord. So here it is mentioned that Lord Shiva's bodily color is molten gold. So Prabhupada explains, the word Vibhudanuga indicates that Lord Shiva is always accompanied by the denizens of the higher planets, known as Gandharvas and Kinnars. They're very expert in musical science, and Lord Shiva is worshipped by them constantly. In pictures, Lord Shiva is generally painted white, but here we find that the color of his skin is not exactly white, but like molten gold or a glowing yellowish color. Because Lord Shiva is always very, very merciful, his name is Ashutosh. Amongst all the demigods, Lord Shiva can be pacified even by the lowest class of men who need only offer him obeisances and leaves of a bale tree. Thus his name is Ashutosh, which means that he is pleased very quickly. Generally, those who are very fond of material prosperity approach Lord Shiva for such benediction. The Lord, being very merciful, quickly awards all the blessings the devotee asks of him. The demons take advantage of this leniency and sometimes take benedictions from Lord Shiva, which can be very dangerous to others. For example, Vrikasura took a benediction from Lord Shiva by which he could kill everyone he touched on the head. Although Lord Shiva sometimes very liberally gives such benedictions to his devotees, the difficulty is that the demons, being very cunning, sometimes want to experiment improperly with such benedictions. For instance, after receiving his benediction, Vrikasura tried to touch the head of Lord Shiva. Devotees of Lord Vishnu, however, have no desire for such benedictions. And Lord Vishnu does not give his devotees benedictions which could cause disturbance to the whole world. So Lord Shiva, here is mentioned, his color of his skin is molten gold. In fact, Srimati Radharani's color is also Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. So Gaurangi, Kanchana, Tapta Kanchana, molten gold. So that's Gaurangi or Radharani. So Gaur doesn't mean white. White means Shukla. Gaur means this molten gold. Even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body color is molten gold. So Lord Shiva came out of the lake with his associates, and Prachetas were fortunate to see him, and as soon as they saw him, they offered their obeisances, and now Lord Shiva will give them the instructions. So that will start tomorrow. So we'll stop here, see anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, one of my friend went to Hemkund Sahib many years back.
Okay.
So when she came back, she also explained, the Hemkund Sahib mein jo kund hai, that is exactly, like quite similar to what what we have read in this shloka number 21 today.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very
So
similar.
I guess a trip to Badrinath and Hemkund Sahib is due then.
Yes, Prabhuji. Years back when she was explaining, she came to the office and she said, beautiful place, we all should go and see. And the way she was explaining it, quite similar to the shloka number. I was just remembering, just correlating to
Mhm.
what was she was saying and what written over here.
Yeah, must be. That place is really beautiful.
Really beautiful, Prabhuji. She has eyes in her tears, and the way she was explaining, she said, I don't have a words. And she explained about the word, birds and trees, about like everything, whatever written is over here, exactly over there. She has
Mhm.
seen it.
Wow.
Hemkund Sahib is like, and she said the yatra is very difficult, very, very difficult.
I know. I've heard
Very
about it.
difficult. But once you reach over there, you are in heaven. It's like beautiful. So believe ही नहीं होता कि हम लोग मतलब ऐसी जगह पे पहुंच गए हैं.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I heard that after you reach there, you can't stay there for more than 2-3 hours because there is no enough oxygen and people have to calm down. And those who reach there after a long journey,
Yeah.
they become so tired and exhausted, they don't have a future.
No,
So
Prabhuji.
only saintly persons who are residing there permanently, they don't need so much oxygen also, and they are only really enjoying.
I don't know about all this, but Prabhuji, whatever she was explaining was like it's like quite similar to the the shloka number 21. Maybe शायद exactly नहीं होगा, but
the oxygen level problem must be there.
must
That
be
we don't know.
Prabhuji. I don't know, मेरे को कुछ मालूम नहीं है, but वो जो explain कर रही थी ना, वहाँ पे सरोवर है, and that the lotus flowers are there and the birds are there. And सुबह 4 वो प्रभात उस पे उठ करके स्नान किया उसने कुंड में, like वो सब कुछ बहुत काफी similar है इससे.
Wow.
Just I don't know कितना true है.
So Ashok Varika Prabhu, next trip, name good.
Well, then Badrinath is along with that, no? It's on the way to Badrinath.
I hope somebody is clearing the list. It's a long one now.
Well, then how about the Kailash Mansarovar also? Then Shivji is there. We have to go see him. Okay, I hope it all happens soon.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so thank you, man. We'll stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare